Good morning, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is Friday, goodness gracious, what's today? 19th? Friday the 19th of February, or Saturday the 20th, if you're in Australia, New Zealand. The moon moves from Taurus into Gemini today. That occurs at 11:04 a.m. on the east coast of the U.S. We also have a square between the sun and the moon today, the sun being in Pisces, the moon, of course, being in Gemini. This is a first quarter crisis in action square. I'm just hopefully not scaring the birds. I'm trying not to move. There's a couple down there. Oh, there's the little cardinal, I think. It's hard for me to tell looking through the camera. So there's a couple of things going on today that I want to talk about besides the first quarter square. Of course, crisis in action. We feel the need to take an action on the seeds planted in that very powerful and very Aquarian new moon that occurred 7 days ago. If we remember, that new moon had, of course, the sun and the moon in Aquarius, but we also had Saturn and Jupiter and Venus and Mercury retrograde all in Aquarius at that time. And Mercury is still retrograde, although it is practically standing still as it goes direct tomorrow on the 20th, Saturday. But what I want to talk to you about is another aspect that's occurring today, and that is a square between Venus and Mars. Venus and Mars, it's a last quarter crisis in consciousness square. It's on the side of individuation, breaking free from the expectations of society. It's much more of a sort of taking responsibility for yourself kind of energy. That last quarter square does have the energy of Aries and Capricorn. So there is a need to take, to have courage, Aries, and take control, Capricorn, of your own mind and where you want to go and how you want to affect the collective, quite frankly, because the next quarter of this synodic cycle occurs between the energy of Capricorn and the end of Pisces. And so this is about distribution of what you've experienced. This is about standing on your experience and then standing on your courage and your ability to utilize what you've learned. So this square between Mars and Venus is interesting because this, in 2020, we had both a Venus and a Mars retrograde. Venus was retrograde in Gemini. Mars was retrograde, of course, in Aries. Lest we forget, the day that it moved out of its shadow was the 6th of January, and we know what happened here in the States with that. But the synodic cycle that is being expressed between the square of Venus and Mars today was seated back in 2019. It's actually August 24th when these two planets came together at 5 degrees of Virgo. And so I want to read the Sabian symbol for 5 degrees of Virgo because it's pretty significant. It says, a man becomes... I'm trying to read it. Okay, a man becomes aware of nature spirits and normally unseen forces. And the Dane Rudger describes this as new levels of consciousness, becoming aware of new levels of consciousness. And I don't know about you, but since 2019, I have certainly become aware of new levels of consciousness within myself, within the collective, coming from higher sources, really, spirit and guides and such. We are divinely guided here. We do have a lot of help to get through this period. And of course, Virgo, as the beginning of that synodic cycle, deals with fixing what's broken. And in the idea of Mars and Venus, what's broken in the way we relate to each other as a male, as a female? How do we relate to our own inner masculine and our own inner feminine? Are they at war with each other, or are they in alignment with each other? These are the questions that we pose through this cycle of Venus and Mars. And it happens every 2 years. We have a beginning and then we come to a culmination. This time, this last time, 2019, the conjunction was at 5 degrees of Virgo. 2 years previous to that, I believe it was at 10 degrees of Virgo. And we're going to have another conjunction in June. I think it's June 28th, I looked. And it's at 20 degrees of Leo. So we're moving from this Virgo energy into Leo. And Leo energy is about the heart, right? It's about a generosity of spirit. It's about love. And so we're not quite there yet, but we are still working this energy. And so are you sharing your raised consciousness? Are you living by the new terms, so to speak, of how best to utilize our energy, how best to relate to one another, how best to find peace within yourself? These are all sort of questions that you can ponder. And of course, then take control of how you relate to others. Are you allowing, say, the media to determine how you're going to relate to others? Or are you going to take this into your own hands? Good question, right? All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. It looks like the birds are not hungry right now. It was fun, though. You see there was a bunch of blue jays came in, a few cardinals, and of course, the ever-present chickadees, titmouses, and the rest of the gang. All right, guys, much love. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Namaste.